Hey, and welcome back to Strange Mind 6. I'm your host, Ruby, and today we're going to be getting back into Superstitions, a handbook of folklore, myths, and legends from around the world by D.R. McElroy. But before we begin, I would like to say thank you for all of the likes and all of the subscriptions. It means a great deal to me to have our family growing and for you guys to be showing love. I honestly could not do it without y'all. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And without further ado, grab your snack, grab your drinks, or sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Aztec gods and goddesses. Aztec mythology. We're going to scratch that word out and put religion. Aztec religion shares much with other Mexican tribal mythologies, religions, as is common in the region. As one civilization rose on the remains of the previous, the tribes absorbed and adapted pieces of religion into their own. Hummingbird. The name is, I might butcher it. I do apologize if I say all of these names wrong. So please bear with me. Huitzilopochtli, hummingbird, is the god of war, the supreme god in the Aztec pantheon. Note that much of what is known about Aztec religion is taken from sources that were deliberately rewritten in the early 1400s by order of an Aztec emperor determined to legitimize the supremacy of his god, as well as his own royal descent from that god. The hummingbird god's color is blue. Quetzalcoatl is a feathered or plumed serpent, or god of the air. His color is white. The feathered serpent is the one god who was passed from the Olmecs to the Maya to the Aztecs with very little change. Tecucciztecalt, the one from the place of the conch, is a wealthy god from an unnamed sea, the place of the conch, who vies with Nanahuatzin for the right to be the fifth sun. His failure leads him to become the moon. The smoking mirror. Aztec god of the earth and soil, as well as night, enmity, and discord. This god is a trickster who often disguises himself in order to prank or even harm the poor unfortunate victim. He is credited with humiliating and dethroning the last great Toltec king, Humec, bringing about the downfall of the Toltec civilization. Tezcatlipoca was the most powerful of the four children of the dual god Ometeotl. His color is black. Xochiquitl, flower, flower Quetzal, feather, is the goddess of beauty and young women. From her hair, a woman would be made for one of the sons of man. Aztec mythical monsters. Aztec monsters reflect many of the same characteristics as those of Native American tribes. Ahusol is a dog-like creature with waterproof hair that lives in or near water and has a love for eating human flesh. It is said to be especially fond of teeth, nails, and eyes. It has 2 hands instead of paws, plus an additional hand on the end of its tail that it uses to grab unwary victims and pull them underwater, drowning them. Sihutetuyo, divine women. These are malevolent spirits of women who died in childbirth. On earth, they become demons who haunt crossroads, where they steal children and tempt men to madness and adultery. Shrines are still erected at crossroads to appease them. Nagul. These are human shapeshifters who can turn themselves into various animals, often a shaman or priest. The would-be shapeshifter is believed to have made a pact with the devil to gain their magical abilities. The Earth Lord is a giant female sea serpent. She is covered with mouths all over her body and a ravenous eater of flesh. Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca returned themselves into even bigger sea monsters and tore the Earth Lord in two, making her top half the new earth after the flood and the bottom half the new heavens. Her screams of pain caused the other gods to transform her. Her hair became trees, shrubs, and flowers and grasses grew from her skin. Fresh water poured from her eyes to make the rivers wells and streams. Her many mouths became the caves of the world. Mountains and valleys were made from her nose. Though no longer a monster, the Earth Lord still needed fresh blood and flesh. So once the people were created, they made sacrifices to her. Thus the earth continues to provide all the things that people and animals need to live. Ginametzin. These are the race of giants created by Quetzalcoatl to populate the earth during the age of the first sun. They are described as being over 10 feet, 3 meters tall, and weighing about a quarter of a ton. The great cities of Tenochtitlan and Tehuacan, among others, were allegedly built by these giants. Contemporary Mexican myths and legends. When we look at contemporary Mexican myth and legends, we see much of their ancestral Native American forebears, as well as the huge influence of Catholicism, which arrived with the Spanish conquistadors. Over 80% of Mexican adults identify themselves as Catholic, over 96 million people. compared with only 20% of the U.S. citizens identifying as such. As the Mexican people who descended from indigenous Spanish and mixed race, mestizo, peoples, so too are their legends and folklore a representation of a mixture of origins. An example are the chaks, ancient rain spirits which are said to be controlled by Jesus Christ. Arguably, it is the Virgin of Guadalupe who is the most recognized and revered Mexican religious figure. Since her miraculous appearance to a peasant named Juan Diego in 1531, the Virgin is worshipped as a divine being and credited with stopping the spread of epidemics, as well as with inspiring movements towards liberation and independence. A number of historical figures have made their way into legend as well. Malinche, an indigenous, likely Aztec woman who helped Hernan Cortes overcome the Aztec ruler and bring about the fall of the Aztec Empire, has been traditionally reviled as a traitor to her people. More recently, Mexican women, artists, and writers have tried to build a more balanced view of Malinche. Priests and leaders for Mexican independence, Father Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla, is a national hero who died by firing squad. Similarly, Francisco Pancho Villa, a bandit who became a revolutionary general, and Emiliano Zapata, a peasant who fought for the rights of peasants during the War for Independence, have gained the status of legends for their purported deeds. In fact, Zapata is still believed that one day he will return again to save his people. If you listen to the dark, you might be able to hear the hoof beats of his faithful horse, lightning as the two thunder through the villages at night. A fascinating folk tale describes a peasant who is so desperately hungry that he steals a chicken and cooks it. A stranger approaches and asks for some food, but the peasant refuses to share. The stranger then reveals himself to be God, and the peasant says that he surely won't share his food with God because God favors the rich and burdens the poor. God leaves and another stranger appears. Again, the peasant refuses to share. The second stranger reveals himself to be Death, and now the peasant says he will surely share with Death because Death is fair, taking rich and poor, young and old equally. Mexican and Central American superstitions. The superstitions of Mexican and Central American peoples often center around bodily harm. These beliefs gave rise to the creation of milagros, or amulets believed to have magical healing and protective powers. Putting a hat on the bed brings bad luck. Cleansing with an egg can avert the evil eye, especially against children. A raw egg is rolled over the victim's body to absorb the bad energy from the evil eye. The same egg is then cracked into a bowl of water and placed under the victim's bed overnight. If the egg curdles, the person has been cured of the evil eye. Putting your purse on the floor will cause you to become poor. If someone sweeps your feet and you're single, you will never marry. Standing a broom upside down behind your door will cause unwanted guests to leave. Decorating your house with seashells is bad luck. Keep a full glass of water on top of the fridge or behind a door to absorb negative energy from the home. Don't iron your clothes and then go wash your hands. If you do, you'll get arthritis. Stepping outside in a sudden cold snap can make you go blind. Likewise, if you go outside after eating too much, your face will become paralyzed. Eat some chocolate if a scorpion stings you. I don't know about the last one. Next page. If you drop a tortilla on the floor, company is coming. If you sleep with a dog or a cat, you will become infertile. Don't hand someone a salt shaker, it is bad luck. Set the salt shaker down in front of them and let them pick it up themselves. If you stare at a dog while it poops, you'll get a pimple in your eye. Don't point at a rainbow or you'll get a pimple on your nose. If you see something ugly while you're pregnant, your baby will turn out to be ugly too. Don't take a bath while pregnant, or the dirty water will reach your baby. Babies who don't listen to music while in the uterus will come out deaf. If you smile at a baby, be sure to touch it, or you will make the baby sick. Don't cut your child's fingernails before their first birthday, or they will have poor vision. I've actually heard about that one. Eat 12 grapes at midnight on New Year's Eve. I've heard about this one as well. One for every stroke of 12 o'clock. Make a wish for each grape you eat. The one that I heard was it's one grape for every month. Pack a suitcase and walk around the block on New Year's Eve to ensure safe travels and good luck. Throwing a bucket of water out a window on New Year's Eve will help wash away the past year and let you start clean in the new year. Tell somebody about your nightmares to keep them from coming true. When dogs howl, death is near. And that, my dear friends, is where we're going to leave it today. The next chapter will be South America, the Incas. Thank you for tuning in, and this has been Ruby, signing off.